Today's discussion topic is happiness. For those of you who are joining for the first time, what we do here is we mix English practice with mindset development. We explore and chat about things like confidence, habits, motivation, learning, happiness, today's topic, and a lot more. As we do this, of course, we get a lot of speaking practice. Your English gets better and you get better. I'm excited to kick things off with an icebreaker. This question is unrelated to the topic of happiness, although maybe you can draw like a connection there with this question, which is, what's the most memorable place you've ever visited? And explain the reason why it's memorable to you in one sentence, in just one comment.
If it comes to the most memorable place, I suppose it was Principality of Monaco. It just blew me away in terms of luxury.
It was hard for me to choose one place, but I would say Ecuador. I lived there for 6 months some years ago. Why? Because I was really happy there.
Yeah, we're talking about small joys, like the simple joys, or maybe something that is the most important thing that brings happiness to your life. How about, do you like to travel, for example? Is that something that when you get to do it, it brings joy to your life?
Yes, I like to travel and I feel happy when I travel.
Amazing.
But I think that at first that the happiness is in ourselves.
Yeah, and sometimes you tap into that feeling of happiness when you engage in certain activities. For some, it might be traveling, exploring new places. How about you, Chin Han?
For me, when I am engaged in what I'm doing, because usually especially when I fully engaged in what I'm doing, so I am in the zone. I don't even notice the time flow.
I think, Chin, you're gonna really love our Heroic English meetup on flow. That's one of the topics, and you've alluded to it a couple of times already. Absolutely. I think that's the ultimate human experience for what it means to really be happy and totally absorbed in something. Can you think of any ways technology and social media have impacted social relationships in today's society? Is it more positive or negative?
I think it has mostly positive impact because if you are living in the small village, you have connection, you can learn a lot of things, you can get experience about people from all over the world, even if you will never leave your small place.
Is there something negative you can mention about technology?
Actually, you said it already that it takes too much time from us, and sometimes you cannot control yourself.
This is, I think, one of the ultimate topics for discussions, like about the pros and cons of something. What we're doing right now is only possible thanks to technology, thanks to the fact that the internet exists, that these devices like the computer, your phone exist, Zoom exists. But I also think the negative aspects of it is people not being able to set boundaries and understand the effects that it can have. Sometimes we mindlessly get addicted to something and we fail to realize how it's impacting our lives. Well, technology allows us to get closer to people that are far away, but unfortunately, it's also something that gets in the way with the people that are closest to us, I think.
We have to be mindful of how much time you use on social media, and also young children, students must be educated how they deal with using social media and technologies.
When they are going to bed, okay, leave the mobile phone in the kitchen. Yeah, and another colleague told me as well that she also asked his son, give me your mobile when you are going to sleep, maybe 1 or 2 hours on the phone, but your brain need to rest as well.
The second question was a memorable experience or moment that highlights the significance of social relationships in your life.
My story was that when I had to leave my country, I was on the border between Ukraine and Poland, and I got a message from my colleague who was not really involved in operations very much, but we knew each other. And he offered to stay in Poland in his guest house. But actually, I didn't ask for that. I didn't even know he knew that I was going to Poland to wait for my Canadian visa. The power of social relationships.
It's also related to what we saw on the guide, which is like an act of kindness, and that brings joy to them. And I think that's unique to humans, right? When we do something for someone else without
Right.
like expecting anything in return, we just do it out of kindness, and that always feels good. If you don't decide where you're going, you'll end up wherever you're heading. Any thoughts on this? What does it mean to you personally?
Of course, in order to have a right direction to move towards, you have to set right goals in your life.
Excellent. I absolutely agree with that. And really, like when we think about values, our default way of considering values is what's wrong and what's good, right? Like honesty, obviously, that's something that it's valued. Considering values in a deeper level is really the things that you value in your life, the things that you consider important. When you actually are connected with the things that you consider important, it's easier to enjoy the moment-to-moment experience, to be happy, to have a direction, right, for where you want to go, because this direction is guided by the things that you like. Any other thoughts? Anyone that wants to share their way of increasing their happiness and fulfillment, or rather well-being, with these activities?
As exercise, music, songs. I like to dance. If I listen to a pleasant song, I just stop dancing. If music is
I
pleasant.
agree with her.
You
So,
mentioned that,
and
Ivana.
physical activity is really good because you cannot sit in front of your computer all the time. You need the change, and it's good for your body to stretch.
I just want to talk about meditation for a while. So meditation is about watching our thoughts and what's happening in our mind. So if we see what's happening in our mind, we have more chances to choose our thoughts, better thoughts.
Practicing or exercising mindfulness, that's awesome.
I'd like to add that all of those methods of boosting our happiness are really great, and I tried them more or less, but I've never tried meditation. I'd like to try it one day maybe.